So at the time of this recording, yesterday, July 28th, 2026, Jez Corden of Windows Central came out with an article where he basically mentioned that Xbox may be reconsidering putting the Project Helix out as an open environment council. What does that mean? That means that they could possibly drop things like Steam support, Epic Games, GOG, all of that stuff. And the reasoning behind that is apparently with the Asus ROG Ally, if a person bought one of those machines and was not previously an Xbox owner or someone who engaged in the Xbox environment, then they totally ignored the Xbox side of the device. I think to the tune of like around 97 or 98% of people who were not Xbox users before they bought a ROG Ally did not shop at the Windows Store, do not purchase games from the Windows Store, basically don't even bother with the Xbox side of that device, even though it is an Xbox branded device. And a lot of that comes down to simply this. And in respect to Jez Gordon, his article kind of goes into theories of getting rid of that feature and just making it a regular console. But I just watched a video from Oh No It's Alex, and I am in agreement with Alex. If you do that, then you're like, here's the problem. Jez seems to think or insinuate it, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but from what I can read, it insinuates that this will somehow lower the price at least a little bit for the Helix. And me personally, I'm like, what the hell is the point? If the PS5 Pro is $900, and it's probably going to go up within the next year because of this RAM shortage that we're having. And no short thanks to Satya Nadella, of all people, who's the current CEO of Microsoft, and various other companies doing nonsense, hoarding memory for this AI rush that everybody is embroiled in right now. Um, if this thing's gonna be $1,000 easy off top, it needs to offer everything plus the kitchen sink. It serves the Xbox Helix no purpose to just be a $1,000+ closed box. Like, and I'm not. This isn't a damnation of any kind on Jez Corden, because he did indeed say, "Well, just go ahead and make it an open box." That was one of his options. Was just go ahead and make it an open box and deal with the outcome of it. Knowing that a lot of people who don't deal with Xbox are just gonna buy this thing and not buy anything from the Xbox store. I say his article is very real written and thought out, but there's one thing he missed, and it will require Microsoft to have the balls to pull it off. And Asha Sharma is the one leader I think that they've ever had that'll be like, you know what, the hell with it, let's do that. So I'm just go ahead and say it, and I responded to one of his posts about it. Microsoft has to pull their games from Steam. All of their games. That means Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5, Starfield 2. I know some of you people cringe at the thought of that, but it's a possibility. The next Wolfenstein, the next Doom, the next Hecton, the next Heretic, the next Quake, the next Halo, the next Gears after E-Day, the next Fable after the new Fable. All of their games, if they make another Crash Bandicoot and make another Spyro, whatever, that stuff cannot come out on Steam. If they're worried about we're not going to get traffic on the Windows Store if we put Steam on the Xbox, don't put those games on Steam. That way, when somebody who says, "Oh wow, this Xbox thing is expensive, but it's basically a PC," when they go on there, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go access all my Steam games, and then they see that new Gears of War, that new Fallout. Well, dang, I really want that too. I guess I gotta go in the Windows Store and buy it. or subscribe to Game Pass if you're still doing that way. Because I have a feeling you're going to see Game Pass, and we talked about this before on this channel, you're going to see Game Pass probably lose day one first party games and have that trickle back down to like 6 months to a year before they drop. Kind of like Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty is the great experiment for that, believe it or not. But you're going to start seeing Game Pass like not be day and date anymore. There's two things that I think are actually happening again. This is just an aside. Game Pass is no longer going to be required to access games on the internet on the Xbox. They're going to get rid of that, because if you're going to sell a console that essentially has PC access and PC abilities, why on earth would you need to pay for online when the PC version or the PC portion of it doesn't require that? So Microsoft's going to have to get rid of that. Game Pass is literally going to have to be, you get some games day one, like indie games. They can, they can pay a certain amount of money to launch their game into the service and have there be like a tent pole or whatever for the service, and still offer the same kind of discounts. And then other stuff will have to come 6 months to a year later. Oh, if you get Game Pass, you'll get the new Gears in 6 months. You'll get the new Call of Duty in a year. You'll get Elder Scrolls in 18 months. Because it's a bigger game, right? And you want to give it more time to hit certain sales peaks. But, yeah, the first step is taking your games off Steam. You'd have to take your games off Steam, and then you'd have to make the Windows Store a solid alternative. Because what you don't want to do is end up having people ignore these games because they just don't like dealing with your storefront. So I would suggest, if not improving on Windows Store, just use BattleNet. You already have something that's sitting there. Make BattleNet even better than it already is for people, right? Like, look at BattleNet seriously and see why people gravitated toward there, even though Steam was on the rise when BattleNet was a thing, right? BattleNet offers unique enough properties for people who traffic through there for it to be a viable secondary option for people. Yeah, it's the only place you can play WoW and a bunch of other games, right? But it's also offering enough that some people spend their whole day on their PC on that storefront. Like, it's very likely that if you got rid of DRM and you had better mod support and you had a better return policies, that you could very easily say, yeah, well, Xbox Studios games, all of our Studios games are only launching on Windows Store from now on. If you want to play them, that's how you'll have to access them. Windows Store or BattleNet. And you'd be fine. And it's like, but you know what? With our next console, we're still going to offer you the ability to go to Steam and buy games on Valve's storefront. That would be fine. There are people who begrudgingly deal with it. And there's people who going to sit here and swear up and down, well, I don't like that, and I'd rather have a choice to buy the game where I want to buy it. Like, look, dude, you don't have to buy it from us. But it's like, if you on a Windows PC, you have our storefront. There's no excuse for you to not. Like, I think you damn near have to even sign up for one to even cut on your device in the first place. So what's the issue, right? But if you're worried about it, that's the extreme you have to go to. But, like, by no means do I personally believe that getting rid of Helix, as far as it being an open device, is going to help you. Like, can you really afford to go a generation where you selling a machine at $1,200 or whatever, and you only sell 10 or 20 million of those things? There won't be an Xbox brand in 10 years, if that's the case. Like, you don't have enough support abroad to pull that kind of stunt. And I think a lot of Xboxers kind of like ignore that. You don't have Asia. You can't sell a console in Asia. Despite your best efforts, you can't sell consoles in Asia. You can't sell consoles in Europe barely. You only really sell consoles in North and South America. Everywhere else is either PlayStation or Nintendo. And even in your home base of North and South America, PlayStation and Nintendo outperform you to various degrees. Like, you have to offer value, but you also have to offer a ultimatum. It's like, if you want to play our games, you have to go to our store. Now, does Microsoft have the balls to do that? I think Asha Sharma certainly does, but I don't know about the rest of the company. You guys tell me what you think, though, man. Because I don't see a point in somebody buying a new Xbox for $1,200 if that damn thing is just an Xbox. Like, come on, at this point, like, and that's another thing. It needs a disk drive too, bro. Like, really, in order to pull people toward this machine, you got to go all out. You need a disk drive, even if you don't plan on printing discs yourself. You need a disk drive so people can access their machines, even if it's an attachable, right? You're going to need a disk drive. You need to sell your games exclusively on your store. No DRM. Heavier mod support. Better return policies. You got to start talking to these small developers, coerce them into coming in and dealing with you again, and publishing games either exclusively on the Windows Store or at the same time as they get them on Steam and Epic. Like, right now, the only thing that's attractive about the Windows Store, if I'm being honest, is if you're a person that owns an Xbox and a Windows or a gaming PC, is Play Anywhere. But if the Windows PC and the Xbox are the same thing, which is theoretically what this Helix is going to be, right? Play Anywhere loses its meaning. It loses its purpose. So then we got to ask ourselves, well, what else is there? You want people to shop on the Windows Store, stop selling your games everywhere else. Now, a lot of the same people, and this is the funny part, keep your eyes out. For the few people who do watch this video, a lot of the same cats that was talking all this exclusive, take your games off PlayStation, don't put them on Switch no more, all that stuff. A lot of them going to be like, well, no, you got to keep them on Steam. Like, no. If you going to go full board, we going to keep our stuff to ourselves, take everything off of everywhere. Because if they're truly worried, again, about, well, people going to buy the Xbox, but they're not going to buy games from the Xbox store, they're just going to go to Steam, take your games off Steam. Sell them on the Xbox Windows Store. Make them go to your store to buy your games. That's one way you guarantee, well, Steam will make money on my machine, and I'll make money with my machine. And I'm still not above the idea that Sony launches some kind of PC launcher in the future. I'm not going to sit here and lie to myself and say that I don't think that's a possibility. I actually really do. They just got to get kicked in the ass real hard by these numbers, and we will see that happen. But yeah, Microsoft got to have the balls to do that. You're not buying Forza on Steam no more. You're not buying Gears or Call of Duty or any of this stuff on Steam anymore. You want to play these games, you got to come to Battle.net or the Windows Store. And honestly, I wouldn't even put that stuff on Battle.net no more. Just put it on Windows. Battle.net should just be for Blizzard stuff. And you should be figuring out a way to merge those two things without people losing their accounts or having to make new ones. Because you own Battle.net anyway, so why are you running two storefronts? Because you got one storefront that's way better than your main one. And it's just sitting there. Right? Like, You're doing this thing where you're stretching yourself too thin. If you want people to engage with the Windows Store, stop selling games on Steam. That's it. And then you can make the Helix an open device and sell games on your store and still allow people to go to Steam and buy every game that they can't get on your store on that store. Problem solved. Because it's going to be a $1,200 device regardless. Anybody that thinks that not involving Steam or Epic or GOG on the next machine as far as storefronts available to it is going to make it cheaper, you're a damn fool. This stuff is cooked. We're talking about consoles costing $1,000 for at least the next 10 years. And that's baseline price. So, yeah, that's my thoughts, man. I'm actually going to end the video for real this time. Let me know what you think. Again, me personally, make this thing a PC and just make your stuff available only on your store. And at that point, your games just got to be good. They have to be good in order to justify logging in somewhere else and buying it from there. They have to be good. They have to hit all the ticks. You need to study Valve and hit the same beats that they're hitting. Make it easy for me to mod my game by simply subscribing to stuff. Make it easy for me to return the game by having better return policies. Make it so that my games don't have DRM. And advertise that stuff. Make it known that that's the kind of timing you on. And you will see results, I believe. But I don't run a $4 trillion company, so what the hell do I know? At any rate, avoid the grift, enjoy your games, and I'll see you guys in the next video.